see if this works out. Guys, give me a second to adjust the camera, kind of a new setting. See if this works. I bet that'll work. Oh, hey, sports fans. Greg Medford, Medford 910 KT USA. Now, a lot of you have asked me about this over the last year or two where I haven't been doing it. It's actually, the last time I was doing the cooking show was when I was married. So this is a post-married cooking show. So this is the kind of thing you could do. I haven't done this for you guys before. It's kind of a two-part show. This is going to be the morning prep, and then I'll show you what we do in the evening. So what we're going to make is we're going to make chuck steak burritos, okay? Chuck roast burritos. Now, I throw some chiles in with this. I'll talk a little bit about it as we go through the whole process, but you'll see it's pretty quick and easy. You got to clean a couple of vegetables. I haven't pre-prepped anything. I just have everything out. So I've got a 3.6 pound roast at $5 a pound. Got some snacking sized carrots. I've got some baby potatoes, a couple of onions, my crock pot, and I've got a quart of chicken broth. And I'll talk about each thing as we do it. It'll go really, really quickly. And then tonight, I'll show you making the burritos, which you'd think, oh, just making burritos. I watched that at Chipotle. There's a little rhythm to it with like a normal size tortilla you can get from a regular retail establishment. I'll kind of show you how to warm those up the right way so that they fold really nicely and so that they stretch and they're tough and make a good burrow, and kind of what I do with these. So it's kind of fun. So first things first, to get the meat and everything all prepped. So let me get some, let me get a couple chiles and peppers out. All right. And then I'm going to get my little colander and one of my knives. Everyone's going to say, oh, what kind of knife are you using, Greg? I use Gustav Henkel's knives. I don't have any of my own knives here. Okay, first things first. Take the roast. Nothing special. The thing about roasts are like Saturday morning sex. There's no big hurry. So take your time. You want them to cook nice and slow. You could go with like a pressure cooker and hurry it up. But a pressure cooker, in my opinion, it's still sex. It's like getting ready to go out, maybe bend over the bathroom lavatory while she's doing her makeup sex. That's fun, that's fine. But this is Saturday morning sex. Slow, take your time, let it cook. So we'll just take the roast and we'll just set it right in here. I kind of put the big flat side down. No big mystery there. And then let me see what I have for peppers. I always have a lot of peppers around because I'm kind of a compulsive pepper shopper. So I've got two serranos. These are serrano peppers. When you buy these, if you're not familiar, I like them as firm and dark green as possible with as little light green on them. And then these are a couple jalapenos, Arizona sized. And what I do, I grew up watching Julia Child with my grandmother when I was around her. And I just kind of got a little love for cooking. Next thing you know, now look, this can be a quart of water. It can be white wine, red wine, V8 juice if you're not very creative. It can really be anything. I tend to like broth, so I'll do a chicken or a beef broth. And people say, oh, you do a chicken broth on it? It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. So, let me open this up. So I don't want to submerge the meat. I'll get it, so that I'll put enough broth in there Like this roast is so big, I'll use this whole quart. But I get enough in there so that maybe the top 1/5 of the meat is kind of sticking out. Does it matter? Probably not. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna put the rest of this in here because I'll show you after you pull the meat out tonight and we make burritos with it. I let it cool in the crock pot. Then I put it in the 1 gallon freezer bag. And this is my last crock pot. Now this thing will turn into soup. So sometime when it's like a rainy day and the kids are hanging around or you don't feel like cooking a regular dinner, you throw that in there, you put it on high, within 15 minutes it's reduced down to broth. Toss in some water, toss in some egg noodles, throw in some carrots and throw in some maybe peas if you like those, throw in some vegetables, maybe cut up some leftover Costco chicken. I usually, because I get a Costco chicken probably once a week just for grabbing a quick hunk of chicken. And I'll take that broth, I'll take some of the leftover chicken, chunk it up, throw it in there, throw in some noodles, and you just have this awesome homemade chicken noodle or beef noodle soup. I mean, I've got some leftover steak from last night, chunk that up, throw it in there, throw in some barley, and now you've got like a beef barley soup with a really nice stock. Take your peppers, wash them off. And I know a lot of you who watch this are not from the Southwest here, and you've got those very bland Midwest palates. I would encourage you to do 2 things. I would encourage you to try getting your heat tolerance up a little bit by playing with the peppers. And the reason I would suggest that is there's so much flavor and there are health benefits from eating peppers. I highly recommend them. And you don't have to have them scorching hot. You can take any one of these. Now, all 4 of these peppers are pretty saucy. But what you do, I'm gonna just break one in half. And then you can see inside there's kind of like a core of seeds. If you want, you generally take that big chunk in the middle out. Now, if you're pressed for time, just throw the whole pepper in. I'm not kidding. It doesn't make any difference. It's gonna reduce really nicely and a lot of the heat goes away, but that flavor. So now I've got an emptied out shell with a couple seeds in there. I'm just gonna knock it into a few long skinny pieces and then I throw it right in with the meat. I'll take the second side. Now, I like this mixed in with the meat. It's very, very flavorful. And if you're making, now if you're gonna make sandwiches with it, you can still do this, but it gives it kind of a Southwest or New Mexico, Baja kind of flair. And I'll do a jalapeno. And then I do the same thing with a jalapeno. I rip it down the center. And then like this has got a pretty saucy inside. You know what? I'm gonna see if this pepper's better. Okay, so I have one pepper that's got some brown down the inside. It would probably be just fine, but since I'm a little OCD, I'm like, goodbye. Now, if you take the main core out of this pepper, you get rid of the like really, really saucy heat. So just kind of core it out like that, like you would an apple. The more seeds you take out, the more heat you take out. You can either decide if you want to leave a little heat in it or you want a little bit of heat and some flavor. I want a little heat and some flavor. And then break it up into some small pieces. You can either julienne it or doing what I'm doing, cross cut it. Throw this in there. So nice. Okay, and then I think an onion, one onion. I'm not a big raw onion guy, but I love me an onion kind of reduced down inside a roast. And I don't cut this up. I don't cut it up. So happy to be back. I'm crying. I noticed, you guys might notice I threw all this in the garbage. I live on the side of a hill, and I'm on a septic system, side of a mountain actually. So I just take this and maybe cut it into eighths. You want enough surface area that the flavor gets into the broth. And so whether you just do a roast and throw away the stock, what a sin that would be, or you do a little bit of extra. Oh, you know what? My favorite pair of scissors that I use in the kitchen, these are my K-Bar scissors from the K-Bar company. If you guys, K-Bar knives, they make a really, really nice pair of scissors. If you haven't had a pair of those, you should get some. I'll throw a handful of carrots in. And then if we were gonna do this like for traditional meat and potatoes kind of roast, and I'm gonna throw these in just for shits and giggles. And these are great if you have leftover and you wanna make breakfast burritos. So I'll take a couple handfuls of these little baby potatoes. These are mixed red and little yellow Goldens. Just about 2 handfuls. Let me get my onion and my potatoes out of the way. Let me get my carrots and my pepper. Oh, I'll tell you about the pepper. So we saved this pepper because tonight I'm gonna cut that pepper into strips. I'm gonna blister it in oil. And then each time I make a burrito, I'm gonna lay that inside the burrito across the meat. A little bit of cheese, a little bit of la crema, Mexican cream. And then I usually will make kind of I call it Baja slaw, but it's like my Southwestern Mexican inspired coleslaw. I kind of put that in the burrito, roll that all up. I make as many of them as my roast will make, which is usually 6 or 8 or 10 or 12, and then I grill them after I've made them. Kids just love them. And everybody really seems to like it. So your potatoes, these are like organic and pre-washed, but I still rinse them off because I'm a little uptight. So this is all of, if I wasn't talking to you guys, this is all of a 10-minute prep. I'll throw these potatoes around the outside. Okay. So, I could give you a little view of this. Looks just like meat with a bunch of stuff on top of it and moisture, almost covering the meat. Put my lid on top of it. Now, when you get home tonight, I'm gonna kick the video back on. I'll put this back on and we'll watch how I kind of wrap this up. So I put these cool little power towers in my counter, which I'm loving. I like when you leave a roast going, I like to not leave it underneath an overhanging cabinet. I like to leave it out in an open area. It's unattended. I know they're safe. So if you're home, put it on high, and as soon as you see it boiling, put it over on low. If it's gonna be cranking all day, just put it on low. So I put it on low. In about an hour, this will be boiling, maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And then it'll kind of slow simmer all day long. As soon as I get in from work, so, it cooks for, let's say, 8 hours or 6 hours. So leave it on low if you're, 8 hour, 9 hour day by the time you drive. You get in, and as soon as you walk in the door, you just go turn it off, unplug it. And then change your shoes, put on your cardigan, whatever you're gonna do, and then you come out, kind of lay out your stuff for dinner, and you'll see the prep for dinner is just so easy. I turn the skillet on, cast iron skillet. I get my pepper sliced up. I get my flat iron skillet going. I have a Le Creuset, one of those ceramic coated like red deep pan. I do my pepper in that one, or out on the grill if Jack's here, and then on the skillet I have that dry as a bone hot with tortillas off to the side. So you just kind of set this up like a little production line. pull the meat, pull some of that meat into a dish, and then you just go tortilla, meat, pepper, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of cream, slaw on top, roll it up, set them off to the side. You just bang those out, and then as soon as you're done with banging those out, you set them on the grill and you let them cook hot on the cast iron, and it just gets you a delicious burrito. I think it's the best burrito I've ever had. And I've been around Arizona, I've been around the Southwest. My kids get a chance to eat wherever they want. We have a lot of Southwestern food here. And personally, unless you just like the tradition of like a bean and cheese burrito or kind of a just basic Mexican Sonoran style burrito, it is a really, really nice kind of, I wouldn't even say it's upscale. I just think it's a really nice version of a traditional Mexican dish that's really healthy, really inexpensive. You could feed like your friends and the entire basketball team for like $20. And it makes a great meal. And then of course everyone thinks you're a goddamn chef because you're whipping up really nice fresh food with good ingredients. And it's not a piece of, it's not $50 or $60 worth of prime meat from Costco. It's some basic chuck roast, $5.99 a pound chuck roast, and it's so good. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, what is this?" I'm like, "It's nothing special." So that's the deal. And leave the kitchen clean so that when you come home you're happy. And that's the show for the day. So I hope you guys, if I get comments and you guys enjoy the show and you like doing it, I will start doing more. Get back to doing more of the cooking shows because I finally got my kitchen on my new house. It's not a new house. I have an old house, but I finally have my new kitchen. And I just finished the tile last week. I think on a Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon, I wrapped up the tile. And I finally feel like I'm in my digs where I'm like comfy cooking and having everybody watch. So if you guys want, I'll keep making little dishes. We'll see what we do next. I've covered steaks a bunch, but we'll probably do a steak thing, and then I'll show you guys things you can do for date night with your girl, whether you're married or you're single or you're a bachelor and you have a date. I'll show you something that will raise your wife's eyebrows. I think there's no better way to show the people in your life, your family or friends, cooking for them is really just a lovely way to say you care about them. And it's one of the reasons why the kitchen is like the central part of the home, right? It's where so much love is shown to the family. Anyway, that's the show for the day. Maybe we'll do cappuccino or espresso or something kind of fun. I'll just do a bunch of little videos. If I get comments on them and you guys like them, I'll keep doing them. If I don't get much, then I won't. I'll stick to knives and politics and raging at the machine. All right, Greg Medford, Medford, KT USA from my house in Carefree, Arizona. I'm out.